most incredible aspects of the Cuban landscape are what are called mogotes. These are limestone formations, lushly green and very dramatic. And between these mogotes are these beautiful valleys. And in Viñales, which is the most quintessentially, exquisitely beautiful of these valleys surrounded by mogotes, are the ox-drawn plows tilling this tomato-colored soil to plant tobacco. The world's finest tobacco is raised in Viñales. It's a time warp. The contemporary world seems to have made almost no impact in the Valle de Viñales. Mogotes got their start many millions of years ago when Cuba was uplifted from the sea. It was a vast limestone plateau. And limestone is porous, and so through the years, rainfall has eroded or seeped into and dissolved limestone until these great caverns form. And when the caverns become so big that they collapse, they create these huge valleys. And these mogotes are now actually stippled with stalactites and stalagmites, which can be viewed from which have been exposed as the caverns have collapsed. And they're also riddled with caverns that can be explored.
Hey, we've seen Los Viñales, we've seen Havana Vieja, but you know what? Cuba is about its people. Let's meet the artist, the soul of Cuba.
It seems to me that every Cuban is an artist. Either they're a musician, an accomplished musician at that, either with a guitar or with a cello or violin or piano. And also they're artists in terms of paintings and sculptings. Almost everywhere you go, you come across accomplished artists. Studios lining the streets, for example, Calle Obispo, Havana Vieja, is lined with the studios of skilled artists. Fantastic paintings.
I'm a Cuban artist. My name is Ernesto Villanueva. I live in Havana. We are right in my studio. This is in the heart of old Havana. But Cuba is being a country with a lot of movement in art, talking in general. It's everything together. It's the music, it's the colors, it's the melange of many different cultures coming to Havana in the last 400 years. I use the abstract work because the abstract gives you a lot of chance to put together your feeling with some way to see the reality. I try to use the color, the abstract, the balance. This is my favorite way to do it. I'm somebody who can, if you saw my artwork in London or in Japan, maybe it's just contemporary art, and it's not exactly something who connect with the Cuba of the country. If you look there, of course, if you meet the person and you start to understand many relationships between this artwork and the artist, then you will discover influences, of course, where you come from. But I prefer to be just an artist, contemporary artist, and that's all.
Now, Cuba has been cut off from the rest of the world in many senses since the late 1950s with the US embargo, and it has had to evolve, or it has evolved, its own artistic expression. It's had its own unique socio-political experiment, and people's emotions around that find expression in works that are classically Cuban. They couldn't be from anywhere else. And in fact, once the embargo is lifted and Cuban artists really make their presence felt around the world, I think the rest of the world is going to sit up and really take notice and is going to have to go back to school.
Hey, don't go anywhere. We're going to meet Liliana and talk about paladares. And remember, if you want to know more about LatinEyes, go to our website, LatinEyes.tv. You know what the word paladar means? It's a private restaurant in Cuba. We're going to go to La Cocina de Liliana and talk to Liliana herself about what is a paladar.
paladar hace 10 años que existe, ya hace mucho tiempo que existe. Fue de los primeros. Nosotros fuimos un poco precursores de este negocio. También son los primeros negocios privados que se autorizaron en este país. Hemos tenido éxito, hemos sido muy dedicados, hemos estado muy interesados no en cambiar la comida, pero sinceramente, realmente la comida tradicional cubana ha ido cambiando un poco a partir de ideas que hemos tenido y hemos tenido la suerte de que mucha gente se ha interesado y les ha gustado y bueno, y nos va bien.
¿De dónde viene el concepto del paladar?
En Cuba se exhibió un serial o una telenovela que la protagonista era Regina Duarte y ella era una persona pobre que se inició en el negocio de la comida desde vender bocaditos en la playa y llegó a convertirse eso en un gran negocio. Y muchas personas en Cuba que tenían necesidad de incrementar su dinero y pues surgió a partir de esa novela que todo el mundo admiró mucho, toda esa actividad, qué sé yo, cocinar, porque en Cuba a las personas les gusta cocinar, los cubanos creen que saben cocinar o saben cocinar. Pues se autorizó por el gobierno y bueno, y ya llevamos 10 años.
Ternura y pasión.
Hey, don't go anywhere. Remember, if you want to know more about us, go to our website, LatinEyes.TV.
This is mi moto Fidel motorcycling through Castro's Cuba. I made a 7,000-mile motorcycle journey through Cuba in 1996. This is my literary travelogue, my experiences, my exposés about myself, my insights, and published by National Geographic in 2001. And I hope some of your viewers will find it an interesting read.
It's a fun read too, so I suggest you pick it up. Well, thank you again.
Thank you, Andres.
I will see you in Havana.
We'll go there together.
That's right.
Mojitos on me.
Okay, now we'll go.